Summit. Kimberly?
That's right, Rob, because for the first time in history, there is only one American going for a PBA title on U.S. soil. He's going up against a group of invaders from across the world. We have two Koreans, Kim and Koo, and then we have PBA pro Dan McClellan from Canada and Australian-born Jason Belmonte, who is on the tour and a very good friend of Bill O'Neill. In fact, they're such good friends, they're sharing a house here in Las Vegas during the World Series of Bowling.
Thanks, Kimberly. Here's Mike J. Laneside with the introduction.
The number 5 player is a 3-time collegiate All-American from Saginaw Valley State representing Canada. Dan the Man, Dan McClellan.
D-Mac steps up, and then a victory by Dan would equal the first Canadian to win a Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour title. And you and I were talking off camera before the show, Randy, and this is a young talent you really enjoy watching and have high aspirations for.
Without question. Wait till you see this style. It's one of the most pure stroking power games you'll ever see.
Wow, does he bring that ball back?
Big high backswing, but very much in control, in great balance at the bottom of the swing and at the foul line.
Who do you think brings it back further, Dan or Michael Fagan?
That's pretty close. They're both almost vertical.
Yeah. So his first frame on American television translates into a spare.
The number 4 qualifier made charge from 14th position during match play, representing Korea, Young Jin Koo.
He looks like kind of a cross of an Asian Pete Weber with the glasses and then somebody from Tron with that huge left wrist brace. It's a dangerous combination, if you ask me. That's how you start. Take a look at the arsenal of Young Jin Koo today.
Anarchy and Theory. Theory on the right lane, Anarchy on the left lane, both with the same amount of hook rating. Two different bowling balls, two different reactions, though.
Back-to-back opening jacks for the Korean.
Did you mention that Koo is 48 years old?
Doesn't look it. Look at this thing. It's like the bionic bowler over there. I mean, Mike Scroggins has a big wrist contraption. That thing dwarfs it.
I like the Tron reference.
You do?
Pretty cool.
I pulled that one out just for you. So here is the Canadian, Dan McClellan, native of Windsor, Ontario, Canada, just over the border from the Detroit, Michigan area. D-Mac, frame number 2. Oof! 7-10.
And what a rude welcome to television for Dan McClellan. This is a great shot, and I've always said that I think a pocket 710 is the worst break in bowling because you throw a good shot, it has the possibility of striking, and now you're looking at an open frame. It's not just the 7 or the 10, it's both. Only 3 players in the history have ever made this on television.
Good effort, Dan. Got a good kick.
That was really close.
Slugs the 10 and gets a great kick. Oh!
I mean, that came within an inch of making it.
Well, it is a game of inches when you really start breaking things down. How close that was for Dan. So spare open frame for the Canadians. We begin the third.
Pure physics is what he's using.
Messenger kicks 1. Can't drop the 10. Not the start McClellan was hoping for, clearly.
Oh, take time.
McClellan keeps his composure, gets the spare, and we'll delve into the academic side of McClellan and how it cut into his Vegas activities when our coverage of the Scorpion Championship returns to Vegas. The World Series of Bowling on ESPN is brought to you by the makers of Bear Aspirin, Bear. Golden Corral, help yourself to happiness. Hammer Bowling, nothing hits like a hammer. Lumber Liquidators, hardwood flooring for less. Glad you're back here with us at the South Point Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas as ESPN's presentation of the World Series of Bowling rolls on. Time now for this week's edition of the Lumber Liquidators Know the Wood.
The Scorpion oil pattern is 41 feet in length and is the second longest pattern we use out here on tour. Now look for the players to go fairly straight early on, but as the lane oil goes through transition, look for the players to jump way in immediately. A lot like what we've seen in past weeks with the Viper and Chameleon oil patterns. But the big difference is that the Scorpion is so much longer than those other patterns that when the players do move in, they must keep their angles much straighter and much tighter through the front part of the lane. One other note, we do have only one southpaw on the telecast today, Youngjin Koo. He'll have the whole left side of the lane to himself.
All right, Randy, while we were away, and McClellan in the fourth. Left that, and then in the fifth, unable to drop all 10 again. Youngjin Koo, the lefty from South Korea, getting all 10 to drop there.
And here in the fourth frame, Rob throwing a different bowling ball on that left lane. Nice shot out of his hand, but it drifts high, leaving a 6-pin. Back to the right lane. Different ball, different result. Goes light. Back to the left lane again. And that's 10 in the pit.
So Koo, after a hot start, has calmed down a little bit, but the Canadian McClellan still seeking his first strike on national television. A rough start for Danny Mac. That open frame in the second really hurting him, but he's been surrounded by 9 spares since then. Needs a strike, needs to get himself into this game down 33 as he closes out the 6th.
He has made a ball change.
There you go.
Anyway, D-Mac.
He's still a student at Saginaw Valley State. He's not on the team because his bowling eligibility up. He's taking 4 classes right now, a total of 12 credits, a full course load. He's taken 2 criminal justice classes, 2 in sociology. He'll graduate in May, and he was telling us, Randy, he's been very busy academically this week. Had a cram for 4 quizzes just the other day prior to his effort here at the Scorpion Championship. And here's Dan's arsenal for the day.
Well, he switched from pure physics to the outburst.
Come on! 2 in a row for the Canadian.
Boy,
okay?
that's a huge break. He needed that. He needed something good to happen. He makes the ball change, makes the adjustment, makes 2 really good shots. This ball here just a little late turning the corner, and this is a huge double to get Dan right back in this match. I got to tell you, Rob, I've known this kid for a short while now, and I'm really, really high on Dan McClellan. I think he just may be a superstar someday out on this tour. He's got a great head about him. He's a great kid, and I think physically he's got all the tools.
How about great bowling talent coming to the PBA courtesy of Saginaw Valley State? Your number 3 seed coming up next, Bill O'Neill, also from Saginaw Valley State. Here is the South Korean Koo, your 4 seed. Strike number 5 for Koo. So just when he thought he was going to leave an opening for McClellan, he starts to shut it with a double there.
Yeah, he just won't take his foot off the accelerator. Nice little shot here. Rips that rack, and he likes it. If he gets 4 in a row, though, Rob, do you think you think he knows about the ham bone?
If he does not yell out ham bone in Korean, I'm going to have him deported immediately. That's the power I hold. Whoa. Can we call it a Brooklyn? Do we call it a Seoul?
Man, if you're Dan McClellan, that's a really, really hard thing to watch. You know, you're already trailing in the match, and then your opponent's working on a double, pulls one dead right, and goes high flush Brooklyn.
He'll take it. And the lefty from South Korea takes a seat.
Takes the shades off.
Yeah, he's dropped 2 3-baggers already here in match number 1. The deficit at 43.
Nice shot.
So Danny Mac on the PBA Tour today, but classes still on his mind.
Still in school, yes. I graduate in May. I'll have a bachelor in sociology. I started a little later. I started when I was 20, going on 21. I'm not one of the brainiacs. I like to have fun and sometimes push aside my homework. But last few years, been getting it done and just want to graduate, get out and bowl full time, basically.
Take a look at the high backswing. There's the rotation, that hand and wrist snap right at the bottom of the swing. That's what creates power. Just an inch high, leaving the floor.
So Koo steps up, working on a 3-bagger. His lead at 34 as he gets set to close out the 9th. Again, 4 international players on our 5-man show today. Another Korean, Jun Young Kim, your number 1 seed. Jason Belmonte, the 2-handed wonder from Australia, is your 2 seed. And here's your 4 seed, Koo, also from South Korea. Say it. Say it, Koo. Say it. Ham bone.
I want you to take a look at this form, and Koo, not a very big man, but he does what some of the shorter players do, and that's they get their feet going. These feet have to get going to create ball speed. Keeps his head down, nice balance at the foul line, hits his target. And again, crossing over or through the nose on that left lane. So right now the match is over. He's won, he's moving on. He just needs to figure out this left lane.
We talked with some of the other pros on the tour about Koo, and they weren't completely enamored with his style and his scoring pace. I don't think a lot of people had high expectations for him making the TV show and then going beyond, but well, he's looked very much in control from the get-go here today.
Yeah, he really has. And you're right, you know, he's got kind of an unassuming style. It's not that real flashy power player that, you know, we're used to watching week in and week out here on tour, but hey, you know what? This guy stepped up in position round, bowled a big game, went around a couple of bodies just to make the show, and now he's making the best of it.
Think about all the things he has to overcome. You know, he comes from South Korea to here in Las Vegas, language issues, food issues, everything. And here he is on his American TV debut, winning and moving on. Up next, Bill O'Neill. He already claimed the Viper Championship 2 weekends ago. Today, he tries to make it a double for the young Caesar.